I taught this class yesterday to one of my privates, and it ended up being a little more workshopy than what I expected because there's some new moves in here, right? And so whenever we try new moves, it takes my brain and body a little while to link them together. But I think it makes it for a little bit more. Today's Fun Flow Tuesday, so I think it makes a little bit more enjoyable. So the theme for today's class is if you ever find yourself, so it's really a quote, and I had never heard it before, and that's always exciting because I think a lot of the quotes that we hear, like we've heard it in some way or another. But the quote is, if you ever find yourself in a hole, stop digging. And pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But how many of us find ourselves like kind of in a mental or an emotional rabbit hole, and instead of just putting down the shovel and walking away for a while, we just keep picking up the shovel and digging it a little bit deeper, or sending out one last message, or getting in the last word, or thinking about it again, even though you've already come up with a solution, right? You're like, I'm just going to leave this until I get this piece of information, but then you still keep thinking about it, even though there's something you have to wait on, right? So this just seemed very clear to me. And what happens for me is, you guys, that time on the mat, that is the one time during the day that I put down the shovel. Okay, so hopefully whatever is on your mind, whatever you're kind of like going through in your weeks and your days, just use this to really breathe, connect. And I use quotes, I use imagery, you guys, because it helps me then throughout my day. It helps me to catch myself, because otherwise I don't always catch what I'm doing. But if I can kind of see my mind digging, then I'm like, oh yeah, put that down, move on to something else. So we are going to start on our backs. And Maria, if you have a block or some books that you could stack or have nearby, it would be great as we get started here. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start, you guys, with my feet wide, inner knees coming together to touch, flying all the way down, and stretching my arms up overhead, grabbing opposite arm, opposite elbow. Closing your eyes. Right. Digging is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we have to like dig into topics in our lives. There's stuff that we have to focus on. But we become more creative, better problem solvers, more mindful. And every once in a while, we put down the shovel, step back, reconnect, and then we can reapproach. Inhale. Exhale. So I think Claire was the only one in class with me on Friday when we talked about like receiving a breath from the universe on your inhale. It's like something bigger than you that you're allowed to temporarily draw into your body. Take care of every inhale. Use it, experience it, be appreciative for it, and then on an exhale, give that breath back. Inhale, receive. Exhale, give it back. Again, breathing. Breathe out. Happy baby pose, grabbing the pinky edge sides of your feet to begin. So we're gonna, as we move on through class, we're gonna look for a long extended spine. And so this is a nice place to start on our backs, where you feel the back of your hips pressing down. You can feel your shoulder blades, maybe even snuggling them a little bit more onto your upper back as you actually use that connection of your hands on the pinky edge sides of your feet to pull straight down. And now it would be really difficult to get everybody to get blocks underneath their knees right now, but I'd like you to imagine that you had blocks underneath your knees and that you were actually able to push your knees down into those imaginary blocks for some feedback. Okay. And then maybe you could have your elbows against your inner shins, your lower leg bones, and feel that if your inner shin bones could press against your elbows, you could then widen your sitting bones and inner thighs apart. Take an inhale. Exhale, now leave your legs exactly as they are. Lift up head, neck, and shoulder blades, looking forward towards the top of your mat. Try to leave your legs using core stabilizing muscles. Interlace your fingers into Kali Mudra at the top and pull. 10, 9, doesn't need to be quick. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Again, grab pinky edge sides of your feet. Happy baby pose. Long breath, inhale, receive. Exhale, give it back. Already, if the mind has wandered and started digging in and kind of burrowing into something else, just leave that there. Now we're going to leave our right leg exactly as it is and extend your left leg along the floor, pressing down into the back of your left heel. And then you could even use your left hand on the inside of your right heel. I like to actually grab the bone of my right heel, my calcaneus, and pull straight down. Okay, now since everybody doesn't have a block, we're not going to use it here, but could you imagine that you're squeezing a block between your inner right thigh and your right ribs? You're kind of pulling in there. Inhale. How close can you get the top of that right thigh down towards the floor? And then lift up head, neck, and shoulder blades. Point your left toe, hovering it off the floor. And then arms reach on the inside of that right leg and press right shoulder and right knee together to hold. 5, rounding the spine. 4, 3, good. 2, maybe you lower your left leg a little bit, get a little more lower abdominals. Nice job. And then everybody, happy baby pose. Come back to center. Inhale. Maybe the chin drop slightly in towards the chest as you exhale. Leave left leg where it is. Extend right leg along the floor, pressing into the back of your right heel. And then use your right hand on your inner left heel to help pull that down. Okay, so I can specifically feel on this side, you guys, because this side is more tight. My left knee is kind of winging out. Can you continue to really try to draw that entire left shin bone in? Good. Inhale. Use your exhale, push your low back down, lift head, neck, and shoulder blades, point right toe, hovering it over the floor, and then both arms on the inside of that front left leg. Good. 5. Can you lift more of your upper back off the mat? 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, everybody. Last time. Happy baby pose. Grab the pinky edge sides of your feet. Feel that as you press your inner knees towards your outer knees. And then come grab your inner heels. Inhale. And as you exhale, think to straighten both legs out to the side. Now, a lot of times I say this towards like the end of class. It may not be your deepest. And then grab your big toes in a yogic toe lock. So Ubaya, Padangusthasana, holding your toes, get a little momentum, rock back toward your shoulders, and can you rock forward and catch your sitting bones? Nice, Maria, exactly, excellent work. Yeah, press through the legs, sit to rise. This will be your inhale, rock it back, try to rock it forward and catch for the balance. Inhale, chest lift, shoulders down, trapezius off. Take it back, round your spine. Come back to the tops of your sitting bones. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys were all rocked back. You didn't see me fall. And one more. Inhale here. Good. Pull on the toes. Tighten up the kneecaps. Rock back. And rock that all the way forward. Perfect, we'll catch it there. Cross your ankles, plant your palms, press back, downward facing dog. I'm here. I'm just sending Denise a message. She got, thanks for waiting. She got kicked off. So, okay, here we go in down dog and reconnect with breath. Inhale, forward plank. Left shoulders over wrists. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, if you need to take a cobra, that's fine. Up dog. Roll over your toes. Use the tops of your thighs as you press back, down dog. 1. Inhale, forward plank. Root the tailbone. Firm the glutes. Exhale, chaturanga. Take cobra if you need to, or inhale, up dog. Press down through all 10 toenails. Lift the hips. Down dog for 2. Again, inhale. Connecting the breath, bend elbows, chaturanga. Inhale. So whenever I'm just more connected to my vinyasa, when I'm more connected to my breath, I have an easier time kind of clearing out my mind, whatever I've been focused on. Okay, knees come down to the mat, tabletop. Left foot is gonna step out to the side. It kind of looks like a warrior 2 foot. So the leg is at a 90-degree angle. My left toes are pointed out to the left. The inner arch of my left foot is parallel to the top of my mat. It's a 90-degree angle. Left heel is in line with right knee. Looks like good alignment. You guys lift all 5 toes. So by lifting all 5 toes, I stabilize my ankle more. So I actually put that work into the back hip. This will be your inhale. And then you're gonna rock back, right hip towards right heel, and come onto the pinky edge side of that left foot. So the entire sole, the entire bottom of my left foot is facing the top of the mat. Good, and notice the stretch that gives into the outer left hip, maybe even into the SI joints. Okay, inhale, pull forward. Left knee over left ankle, just like a 90-degree angle. And then go ahead, rock that back again. And whenever I come onto the pinky edge side of my foot, you guys, I just always have this mantra that I'm always kind of scraping it back, right? I'm actually trying to pull the pinky edge side of my foot towards the back of the mat. Come forward again, inhale. And exhale, rock that all the way back. Pause a little bit there at the bottom. Can we think kind of like a happy baby pose? Remember when you were trying to push the top of your knee into the block towards the floor? It's like you're trying to push your left knee back. Good. Bring that back up to center. So a little bit different transition. The weight goes into the right hand. Shoot your right leg in front of your left foot. Come onto the pinky edge side of your right foot as you lift your hips and open up there into a very mild flip dog. Good. Inhale, curl that open. And then exhale, left hand down onto the mat, right knee plants. From there, press evenly through both hands and extend your left leg up and out. So big lift, laterally out through the left leg. Now, all my weight shifted into my right hand, correct? I think that happened to just about everybody. Shift all of the weight into your left hand and float your right arm out to the side. Yep, so Maria, if you can take your left leg, and float it and hover it over your bed. Good, that's a nice goal to kind of keep it as high as you can for 3. Now, get more power, you guys, from your right hip. Let that help lift the leg. 2 and 1. Right hand down to the mat. Left leg sweeps up and back. 3-legged down dog. Inhale, 3-legged down dog. Split the legs. Exhale, step left foot forward, up in between your hands, lunge. Good, lower the back, right knee down. Just rise to fingertips. Inhale, low lunge. Stretch through right hip flexor. Press back, downward facing dog. 3 vinyasas from here. Deep breathing. Inhale, forward plank. Let your body be a container. Receive the breath. Exhale, give it back. Chaturanga. Inhale, open. Let the breath pour in. Up dog. Push the floor. Downward facing dog. Rolling back smoothly. 1. Inhale, forward. Elbow creases turn forward. Biceps turn forward. Firm up through the triceps. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Nestling the shoulder blades onto your upper back. Downward facing dog. Smoothly flowing here. Inhale, connect breath to movement. Plank, tone glutes. Chaturanga, one piece. Inhale, even curve through your spine. And downward facing dog. Inhale, press. Exhale, lower your knees down to the mat. Tabletop position. Right foot steps out to the side at that 90-degree angle. Right toes turned out laterally. Right heel in line with left knee. Let's just get that alignment. And then I lift my right toes. It just helps me to stay a little more mindful. Inhale here. And then exhale. Push all the way back. Take a little pause. So maybe even walk a little bit more forward through the fingertips. Drag back through your right heel. And inhale forward. Good. Let's make some space in the back of the hips. Exhale, send that all the way back. Opening up the breath. That's kind of your quadratus lumborum too on your right side body. 1 more. Inhale. And shift it all the way back as you exhale. So hopefully just a little bit different awareness into the back. So I don't find this like pigeon pose, which is more on the outer hip. I find this closer in towards the sacrum. And then shift forward. Left toes tuck under. All of the weight comes into your left hand. Shoot your left foot in front of your right foot. Come to the pinky edge side of that left foot and take a flip dog from here, shooting the leg out laterally. Good. Inhale, maybe squeeze the bum a little bit more, lift the chest, and then right hand down to the mat, left knee plants. As you extend, right straight leg out to the side. I'm kind of really fine, you guys. If you tip into the left side body, but then you kind of figure out, right, how to put more weight into the right hand and use more left glute to keep your right leg lifted, and then float that arm for awkward airplane. 3, 2, push the floor, draw your bottom ribs in and up. 1, left hand to the mat, right leg scoops up and back. 3-legged down dog. Excellent, stretch that out. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward up in between your hands, lunge. Good. Back left knee down just 1 time. Open your chest here. And exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. So we're not doing any sun A's today. So these little vinyasas are there to get the body warm, to get us linked in with breath. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale. Exhale. Smooth it out. Samavriti. Inhale. Plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Do we get more tone through the back body so the front body opens? Lift the hips, turn the sitting bones up. That should be 2. Heels press down. 1 more. Look for space. Inhale, forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inner elbows squeeze in. Outer shoulders roll back as your collarbones widen. Downward facing dog. 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Exhale for 3. Step forward, leave your feet hip width distance apart, top of your mat. Hands to shins, inhale, open. And then exhale, as you fold in, go ahead, belly, chest, chin, stretch across your low back a little. And now we're gonna drop the weight back into the heels. Bend your knees until your sitting bones come down in line with your knees, right? So I want your upper thigh bones parallel to the floor. And then arms reach forward, grab opposite arm, opposite elbow as you pull the chin away from the chest. So we're quite low. My bottom ribs are actually touching my thighs. So deeply folded at the hips as then you lift the gaze, you lift the elbows, and you find more back power. One. Actually, all 10 of my toes are also lifted in a very remedial way to shift my weight back. Two. Inhale. Exhale for three. Stretch your arms to straight. Look towards fingertips, lengthen. And then lower all the way down, no hands. Okay, hands are going to come back behind you. And so this is the kind of fun transition. I'd like to do it a few times until you find it easily. So you're going to take reverse tabletop, and don't worry, right? If you get like left and right confused, we'll figure it out. Left arm up. So when your left arm goes up, don't let it touch the floor. Turn towards the right, dropping your right knee down. Straighten the left leg out to the side, and then slide left hand behind right wrist and come into a twist here. Thread the needle. So wherever you need to kind of plant that left foot so that you can push into the left ear, you can push into the left shoulder and wring yourself out. Inhale. Exhale. So you press into right hand, tuck your right toes, and then try to pivot that kind of smoothly, simultaneously. Nice, all the way. There you go, Allie. Perfect, like back to center. Good. So then we're gonna let our right arm reach up. We start to turn to the left. And as you turn to the left, left knee down, right leg extends out, and thread the needle. Right hand behind left wrist and twist in. So I like new combos, you guys, when I can't seem to put down the shovel of whatever is going on in my life, right? Because I refocus. Inhale, push from left elbow into left hand, rotate that in deeply, and then pivot, turn, and bring that all the way back to center. Good. Fingertips can turn forward now. Put that micro bend in your elbows so that you can scoop the shoulder blades onto your upper back. Take a reverse tabletop. Stretching the knees forward, getting long through the side body into your armpits, and then lower your hips down. Hips come to the mat, Navasana. Good. Balance in Navasana. Take this as your inhale. Ardha Navasana, low back pushes into the mat as you exhale. Soften the eyes. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Get absorbed right here into what's happening into your body. Brace in. Hug your deep core, abdominal muscles around the spine for 3. Inhale up. Good. Soft shoulders, round. Pull the heart deep into the center of the body. One more. Inhale up. And exhale, lower. Lift all the way back up to center, Navasana. Cross the ankles, plant the hands, your choice. Chaturanga, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog to hold. 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Inhale. Sloping the hips up and back, look towards hands. Float, top of your sticky mat, feet hip width distance apart. Hands to shins, inhale, extend the spine, press the shoulders away from the ears, shift the weight. Exhale, fold in, maybe shake the head, let go, drop it, put the thoughts down. Bend your knees, maybe lift all 10 toes, get back into your heels, arms reach forward. So I am really trying to seal my lower abdominals and even my ribs onto the legs as I grab elbows and try to put this power really into the upper back. So the hands, you guys, can help pull the elbows forward and also lift them up a little. For 3, what if there was a block between your feet, between your knees, between your inner thighs as you hug the midline for 2. Inhale. And exhale for 1. Straighten the arms, look forward, hips come all the way down to the sticky mat. Good. Let's try that transition again. Hands behind us. Lift up. Start with your right arm. Right arm up, start to turn, pick up your left foot, put your left knee down. Straighten right leg and thread the needle. Come onto the back of your right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. How smoothly? Using core. Can you kind of pick everything up and transition around? Nice, right? So that's what we're doing it a second time because I think it just gets smoother for you. Left arm up. Keep the hips up as you pick up the right foot. Extend the left leg out to the side and kind of get unstuck. You don't always have to approach poses exactly the same way. Long spine, inhale. And exhale, push into the hand, pivot, turn, knee back, reverse tabletop. Fingertips turn forward. It helps to put the micro bend to the elbows. Just scoop the shoulder blades down the back, and then as you straighten the arms, the head can rock back. Good. From an imaginary block in between your knees, inhale up. Exhale, lower, sitting bones down, control, Navasana. Inhale here, exhale, lower, one. Without rushing, receive the breath in. Tone inner thighs to the midline, two, and up. Yep. Drishti is at your big toes, sitting tall. Can you lengthen more through the crown of the head? Good job, you guys. And that's your last one. Lift up for 5. And lower down. Bottom ribs are knitting in. Lift all the way back up to center. Bend your ankles. Bend your knees, cross your ankles, plant your hands, plank pose. Inhale, plank. Soften between your shoulder blades, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Hips lift. Downward facing dog. Okay, so if you have a block, you're going to use it. If you don't have a block, no problem. You're going to put a block on the inside of your right hand. Inhale, lift, right leg up and back. Step your right foot forward, up onto that block. So these can all just be done as Anjaneyasanas. If the foot is up on the block, you're lifting the floor, and we might be able to target getting a little more work into the back left hip flexors. Stretch the spine long. Remember when you were lying on the floor at the beginning of class, right? The spine was lengthening. And then please lower the back left knee down onto the sticky mat. Good. Notice if that little bit of added height takes you a layer deeper. Both hands walk up onto your right knee. Push your hips back. Push your hips back. Use the resistance on your hands, stabilizing your right thigh to scoop your tailbone forward, and then slide in deeper. Arms up. Grab opposite arm, opposite elbow, and just think of going up. Don't necessarily think like Anjaneyasana, like a big back bend. Think more like core, outer hip strength is helping you to lengthen. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Take your time. Maybe the block will flip, right? Sometimes those foam blocks flip out and pass back. Down dog. Change sides. Move the block. Left leg lifts. 3-legged down dog. Good. Left foot steps high up onto that left block. Be careful. Yep. Start from your back right toe. Hook the tailbone forward. Get that long extension of your spine, and then lower your back right knee. Good. Hands come up onto your left leg. Slide it back, readjust. So kind of put down the shovel, what was ever happening there. Scoop back in, lift up, and then draw yourself back in. So instead of pushing, kind of pull yourself. Arms up, grab opposite arm, opposite elbow. Good. Straight. Less back bendy here today, more still connected to core, but length through the spine. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, press back. Downward facing dog. You can get rid of that block. Lift, right leg up and back, 3-legged down dog. Step your right foot forward up in between your hands, lunge. Lower your back, left knee down. Okay. Walk your hands up onto that front leg. So I know we've got some some low back stuff going on. So if that's, this is where you want to stay today. But the transition, I'm just going to show you and then maybe you follow, is your left hand is going to reach by your left knee and you're going to shoot that left leg through, come into your flip dog, right? And so if that's too deep, you could put a block underneath your hand and it will lift that up and you'll not have to back bend quite as much. Good. Yep. Shoot it through, press through the pinky edge sides of the feet. Excellent, you guys. And then transition that back. Left leg shoots back. Plant the palms. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg lifts, three-legged down dog. Good. Left foot steps forward up in between the hands. Okay. Find your foundation, put your back knee down. Good. Extend the spine. Always, like I always say, like telescope the spine, get that length. Hands can come onto the top knee. You can choose to pause there, or right hand can go back onto a block, onto the floor, push simultaneously, pick up that right leg, shoot it through, and open yourself into a flip dog. Good, you guys. Yeah, so just some different, we always go from like a three-legged down dog, right? Sometimes that gets a little bit boring, always doing things exactly the same way. And then see if you can transition back. So don't let that right foot drop and step it all the way back. Yeah, using core. Better, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, one. Move the breath, inhale. Exhale, two. Roll the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Keep the sides of the neck long. And now as we look forward, can you jump your feet together at the top of your mat? Inhale, open single leg. Get strong from your outer hips towards your inner thighs. Exhale, fold in. Bend knees, drop hips, sit low. Ashtanga Utkatasana. So Ashtanga Utkatasana is the arms straight up, perpendicular to the floor in Kali Mudra, allowing you to drop your head back, shift weight into the heels. Maybe the bum can drop a little bit lower and find that really even distribution of curve through your spine. Throat is open, look up, inhale. Exhale, fold out over your legs. Inhale, look forward, half flat back. Exhale, step left foot back into the lunge. So from lunge, please build it from the ground up. So for some reason today, I keep lifting all the front toes, right? It's just really keeping my weight in my heel, which allows me to turn into my hamstring, turning the tailbone forward. Lift to rise, high lunge. Okay. From your high lunge, let's soften the back knee a little. Neutralize, scooping up through the front of the pelvis. So we do that all the time. And then this time, lift your right heel and press the top of your right shin bone forward. So could you get your inner right knee, your inner right ankle lined up over the root of your big toe, and then slide your left leg back more deeply. One. Inhale, push from right knee down into the right big toe as you grow up through fingertips. Two. Inhale. Exhale for three. Hands to the mat. One-legged plank if you'd like it. One-legged chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Hips lift. Downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Three-legged down dog. Step right foot forward up in between your hands, lunge. Okay, so if taking a quadriceps stretch on your left leg is too much, one of the tricks, you guys, is to put a block underneath that back left knee. So then when we lift up and you try to fold the back left foot in, it's a little less intense. Now, if you want more intensity, obviously you could keep the block away and you can keep the knee on the floor, but that's one way to lessen or kind of reduce the stretch into that front left hip. Yeah. Continue to look forward towards the front of the mat. And then fingertips touch the floor, low lunge, back foot, steps forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Ashtanga Utkatasana. Interlace the fingers, Kali Mudra. 1. Stretch up from your serratus through the armpits, lengthen the arm bones as an extension of the spine. Tip the hips, low back, mid back, upper back, curve into it. Inhale. Exhale, fold out over your legs, Uttanasana. Squeeze the belly button back in and inhale, look forward, half flat back. Deeply step right foot back, lunge. Okay, so on the second side, left foot should be forward. I'm gonna lift the 5 toes on my front foot, curl the tailbone, and lift to rise, high lunge. If you always adjust the back leg first, soften the back right knee a little. Drag the tailbone heavy towards the floor, tailbone curling towards pubic bone. Re-straighten that leg. And then lift your left heel. Yeah, so you can lift it a couple centimeters, or you can try to really stack the knee over the left big toe. And the more from your inner left thigh, you drive forward through your inner left knee and drive the top of your right thigh bone back, you should feel that opening. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, pick up the foot. One-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva. Hips up and back. Adho. Left foot steps forward up in between your hands, lunge. And if you'd like a little, like softening, a little reprieve, maybe on that back right quadricep, you could use a block, right? Otherwise, left elbow, left knee, and add some quadricep here. There you go. Yep, so same. Not so much about a back bend today, right? But instead trying to separate the femur bone from the hips as you extend up, lengthen through the crown of the head. So less sinking in and more height up as you make space. Good. Release, step back, downward facing dog. Take a block if you have it, put it in between your hands at the top of your mat. Okay, so face down, short edge of the block parallel to the top of your mat. Right foot steps up onto that block. Yep, and Marie, you can do all of this without a block. That's absolutely fine. We're setting up for a warrior too, you guys. Left heel spins to flat right foot. It's hard to get that foot up there. It's really good work to use core here and push straight down from right knee into the block. Squeeze your right hip in, anchor through the tailbone, lift to rise, warrior 2. Like, why not, right? Lifting that right foot might just give you a little bit different feedback. Okay. Soften the shoulders. Use the muscles of your serratus to help pull the shoulder blades down away from your ears. Good. Now, inner thigh reaches towards inner right knee. Inner right knee reaches off the top of your mat. And then from your outer right knee, you pull back into your outer right hip. And you squeeze your outer right hip more, and you see if you find any more space. Reverse your warrior. 1 breath. Arch back, reach back. Good. Inhale. Now take as much time, especially if you're up on the block, you guys. Right? I'd like you to walk your back foot in and try an Ardha Chandrasana. Balance on the block And so if you don't have a block, Ardha Chandrasana, yeah, just shift forward, fingertips to the floor. So there's a lot going on there, you guys. No matter where you are, obviously a balancing pose, but if you're up on the block, your leg is longer. So you're actually having to get more hamstring length to lift up. And I'm gonna make it, for everybody to each their own, as long as you stay long through your low back. If you'd like to add on the Chapasana and do the quadricep stretch, you could get that. One. Inhale. Exhale, two. So standing a little bit taller, what it's like to have a little bit longer of a right leg. You'd be higher up, your hips are higher. So it's actually harder to control your center of gravity. Nice job, you guys. Release the foot, step your left leg back, low lunge. Whether you have a block or not, step your right foot to the middle of your mat. If you have a block, put that block in between your ribs and right thigh, left leg up, stag, handstand, hop. Yep, good. Squeezing, driving that knee in towards your ribs. Shift it even more forward. Excellent. And release. Block in between your hands. Step back. Downward facing dog. Shake the head. Does the aim of your right leg feel slightly different? Look forward. Now, it's a big step, and it is something to work on, you guys. Seeing if you can step that left foot up onto the block, right? It takes more core. Pause. Okay, so probably wiggle your right foot back. Most of you really lengthen out that stance. We want to use this as a hip opener. Right heel spins to flat. Warrior two, lift to rise. So the feet are off balance, right? They're not on the same plane. And then I think of this energetic loop. Outer left knee back towards outer left hip. That was the awkward airplane that we did at the beginning of class. Inner thigh towards inner knee. If I was there, I would stand in front of all of you and I would hook my fingers around your inner left knee and I would pull it forward towards the top of the mat. Like that was the idea of driving your shin bone forward in those high lunges so you can open more. Back hand down the back side, reverse your warrior. And then please take your time, shift it, Ardha Chandrasana. All right, so if you've ever wanted to be a little bit taller, that's that sensation. Stepping forward. Good. Same spiraling action, right? From your left big toe, you're spiraling up through the shin bone, through the kneecap, through that outer left hip, cutting it up and back. And if you want to add Chapasana, go ahead and add that here now. One. Inhale, let the breath help you to put down the shovel and just be in this moment for two. Inhale. And exhale for three. Take your time. Step your right foot to the back of your mat, low lunge. Left foot steps to the middle of your mat. With the prop, with support, stag, handstand hop, block between your left ribs. And see if that helps. You get less of a back bend. Right, so that's essentially what it's doing. It's keeping your spine. Wow, good, Maria. There you go, Blair. Good. It's essentially keeping your spine more in flexion, connected to core. You could put a block between both. You could put the block in between both knees and press up from there. Practice and hold that into like the hollow back, right? And then everybody. Exactly. Claire's got it. Child's pose. Take a child's pose. Let's drop down here. So we're gonna put this all together, inner thighs, quadricep, coming into a peak pose. So down dog, and now please put the block if you have it. Doesn't matter if you don't have it, it's okay either way. Put the block on the outside edge of your right hand, hips up and back, down dog. Can you step your right foot up onto the block? Lining up the inner arch of your foot, everybody, the inner arch of the foot with the inner edge of the block. So that just kind of helps to keep the inner knee stacked over the inner ankle. So remember, we started class like this, but on our backs, right? And I want you to really drive down. And if you don't have a block for you, it's just fine to come into a lizard lunge, right? Like it's just same thing, just not up on a block. Okay, pull the center of your chest forward, lower your back left knee down. Okay. And this is gonna be your option here, down onto elbows, or if you'd like to take your right hand behind your right hip and grab your left foot in a quadricep stretch, you could then come down onto your elbow. If you want more, you could walk your left hand forward. Yep, so either propped up on left hand, left elbow, or that hand forward, tucking in. So I think, can your right hand go around the back, like go underneath, Claire, and go from the outside of your right hip? There you go. Yep, exactly. Yep, good. Okay. Wiggle that left knee back, step strongly into right foot, and release, down dog. Oh, my legs feel very different. And what I mean is like the weight of my feet into the mat feels very, very different between sides. Please move the block over to the left. So this kind of variation on lizard, left foot, step it up nice and high. Okay, remember the core work that we did at the beginning of class to hug that in. Wiggle your right foot back, right knee can come down. Okay, before you kind of advance on, make sure that like the same way in a happy baby, we were pushing the knee towards the floor. From here, you're pushing the knee towards the foot, towards the block, towards the floor. See if that opens you up anymore. Now, tucking left shoulder behind left knee. If you want, you can add the quad stretch, reaching for right foot, coming down on right elbow. And maybe reaching your right arm forward. Yeah, maybe lifting the elbow as your right palm plants. Release without slingshotting. Step back, down dog. The mat. Good on your heels, and let's just look at the peak pose. Okay, so it's this bound variation of this lizard extension. So I'm just gonna face the camera. So it's everything that you've kind of already just did, but with one little extra element, okay? From down dog, right foot will step outside edge, back knee down, fold that back leg in, quadricep stretch, come down onto the opposite forearm, and then work the balance, trying to extend the right leg out. So maybe from side, you guys, foot's out, that's the lizard tuck. Pick it up, squeeze it in, the weight shifts, and then it's big balance. Okay, and so remember when we kind of took the leg out to the side in airplane pose, that's where that came from. So remember how hard it kind of was to lift that leg and stay stable? You're gonna kind of feel that same like teetering effect here, okay? And then if you wanna transition through Ekapada Kundanyasana, right? When you release the foot, if you wanted, you know, to take some type of arm balance there, of course you could. Okay, so let's give this a try. from down dog. Yep, so step to, that's okay, Claire. Yep, from down dog. Right foot steps outside edge of right hand, lizard lunge. Hopefully the hips feel nice and juicy and open. Put your back left knee down. Now I'm keeping my left knee underneath my left hip, you guys. It's not way back, right? Because this is giving me that structure. Good, Claire. Yeah. Now, right hand scoop to the outside edge of your right hip. Fold the left foot in. Get the quadricep stretch, tucking it in. And then I drop my left elbow down to shift the weight and try to extend the right leg. Leaning to our P's in here a little bit, right? Yeah, it's kind of a fun one. It's one of those ones that I think it looks beautiful. And I'm like, oh, wait, why was that harder than when I expected? Yeah, I give it another try. Squeeze from the top of the quadricep. Beautiful. Yeah. The more you squeeze that leg, it'll just get straighter for you. And then if you guys want any type of transition, right, through an arm balance, you can plant right hand outside edge of pinky edge side of that right foot. Extend the right leg if you like a little Ekapada Kundanyasana. Downward facing dog. Good. I hope we found a good stretch for you, Allie. Does that one work? That one? Yeah, good, right? Isn't it crazy how like a little difference really touches it? Here we go, guys. Nice job. Let's bring our left foot to the outside edge of the left hand all the way through. Good focus. Lizard lunge. Right knee down. I like it directly underneath the right hip. And then left hand reaches back. Fold in. Drop a right elbow down so the weight does shift. But remember, you're getting the firmness from that outer right hip so that you don't collapse over like that awkward airplane and then point out through the toe. And there's a crazy amount of core, right, to connect us all together to stabilize. And if you're there, breathe into it. Good. And yeah. Oh, I should have gotten up and taken a screenshot of all of you in it. If you want to screenshot, yeah, go Blair, go screenshotting. All right. And downward facing dog. Use a vinyasa to neutralize. Inhale forward. So there's a big difference, not for it to just be like a big juicy back bend, to like really feel that you connect to the inner body. Pull forward, up dog, hips, up and back, downward facing dog. With you guys, knees to the mat. Cross your ankles as you roll back and come all the way to lie down. So today you could either take a full Urdhva Dhanurasana if you'd like, if that's what you need, or flex your left ankle over the top of your right thigh and lift it into a bridge pose from there. So Urdhva Dhanurasana is definitely available if you want to take that. With the center of the chest lift, make sure the sides of the neck are long. And then lower your hips down. Now, the structure of your legs does not change. Drop your left foot over to the right. Your left knee is still pointing up towards the ceiling. And then your right hand can press your left leg away from you as your left arm reaches back. Yep, so if you don't get enough of a stretch, you move your right knee up higher, right? So that the right knee is more in line with the right hip. There you go, good. But then you keep the connection of the outer left ankle pressing against the top of your right thigh and take a gentle, long twist. As you push your left leg, literally the femur bone away from you, and you stretch back through the left arm, you should feel some length get reestablished through the left side body. Good, you guys come back through center. Set both feet into the mat, just feeling that. And then change sides. Right ankle crosses over, flex the foot, keep it active. And please lift up into this one-legged kind of glute bridge, letting your right knee drop down. Trying to pop the chest up, maybe securing the shoulder blades. So let's really try to take the theme of class kind of full circle. Right? If there's been something, a problem that you just kind of keep digging into, and set it down, give it some space, lower the hips to the mat. Left knee draws in towards the chest as you drop your right foot over to the left, step it into the mat. And the left hand can push your right knee away from you. Right arm lengthens on the diagonal, potentially closing your eyes. 1. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Breathe in. And breathe out for 3. Okay, come back to center. You need that final hug, squeeze in towards your chest. And then release to open Shavasana. Another way I think about this is, right, sometimes like a dog with a bone, we just get very myopic, very caught on one way of being, one way of thinking. Our yoga practice becomes this beautiful daily reminder. Keeping your breath here. I wiggle your fingers and toes. And then stretch your arms up overhead. Bend your knees as you roll to the right, and let's meet at seated. Good. So whether it's a quote or knowing in my own life, when I try something new, when I get out of the comfort zone, it's a tool that I use to kind of get me out of the same kind of patterns and habits of thinking. So knowing what you need to do to kind of change your own mind, taking your hands in front of your heart center, and then lifting your thumbs to your third eye, bowing forward to seal your practice. Jai, Siddhartha.